The last one is the Manson scene, or the spoiler alert, hippie slaughter scene. One thing that I like about this scene is actually the cutting. So there's a lot of practical effects going on in this scene, but the cutting is really where I think that's really the most excellent part about this scene. Because as we walk through the scene, there's some instances of what I would assume is padding of the arm when Brandy, the dog, bites Tex Watson, and also when the dog bites him in the crotch. I believe it's also padded, or I hope so. And then there's also like a close-up with Brandy as she's like holding on to the crotch. I believe that must be like some sort of doll or dummy that's holding like the crotch.
I agree.
But I can only guess. I couldn't find anything about it.
No, but it certainly looks like a puppet.
But again, it's cut so fast, so it kind of works. But if you really look at it, it kind of looks like a dummy. One thing that I kind of thought was pretty well done was when Cliff throws the dog food can in Sadie. I think Sadie or Sadie. Sorry, I'm Swedish. I don't know how to pronounce these nicknames, but Sadie, I think. He throws the dog food can in her face, and it's quite well done. Like, I mean, it doesn't really look like VFX. It doesn't look like a VFX can, but I guess they used like two different shots or something. I don't know. Do you have any idea?
But could that not be exactly the same thing that they did for 2001: A Space Odyssey with the pen? You know, maybe they have some kind of blocking glass, and you know, it just.
I don't know. Maybe. But
I mean, that's the way you could do it.
It's well done. But one thing again with cutting is, she gets hit in the face, but there's no blood. And then she falls down on the floor, and now she has a lot of blood in her face. She goes from like no blood to blood.
Yeah.
But it works really well because it's cut like that. And when we dive into the scene, we're, you know, following the scene with the help of excellent cutting. There's pretty fast cuts when Cliff Booth does his kind of basic, I don't know, martial arts thing, when he like grabs the arm and then like hits the hand holding the knife, and he gets like the knife in the knee, Tex Watson, and the cuts are really fast. Like if you look at it, it's like split second for every cut, but we're always following what's happening. Then we have like the classic like stunt punches. And then we have a stunt, which you can kind of tell is Brad Pitt's stunt double, if you pause, of course. And then also the knife in leg. There's two knives in legs in this scene. One in Tex Watson's leg and one in Cliff Booth's. I believe it's some sort of like practical, like they placed like a fake knife in his leg. Because he's touching it. I don't think it's VFX.
No, I don't think it's VFX either. I think it's probably, as you mentioned, you know, a knife that's cut, you know, to just place it.
Yeah, that's what I believe at least. This scene uses a lot of dummies. For the scene where Cliff Booth stomps on Tex's head, you can tell it's a dummy if you pause. But again, cutting is so smooth and efficient and fast-paced that you don't really think of it at all.
And to be honest, you would need to be a dummy to not think that was a dummy.
Yeah, it's a very, you know, stunt person who's very serious about his profession.
Yeah.
He can even get his head stomped in by Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
But then we also have the dummy for Patricia Krenwinkel, as Cliff Booth goes mayhem, like, you know, smashing her head.
And they probably filled that dummy with blood, because
so?
it's gushing out as he hits it towards the
and, and especially when he hits it on a table, you can kind of tell that it's a dummy. But then they mix that with a stunt woman, like when he smashes her in like frames, and also the telephone scene. I can't really tell how they did that, to be honest. When Cliff Booth like slams this woman into a telephone, I'm thinking maybe the telephone covers up something. But I tried to do like a gamma comparison and see if it's like VFX, and I couldn't really tell. Or maybe if like the telephone itself, like the thing that you hold, if that's VFX and falls off. I'm guessing maybe since she's the stunt woman that she's kind of leading the action, and Brad Pitt is kind of following her, but I can't really tell. I don't know that much about stunt work in that regard.
Good point.
I'm also thinking about like hair. What exactly is he holding, Brad Pitt, as he's like hitting her head on the pillar? But then also we have the end with obviously the flamethrower, and there some stunt work there. But yeah, that's a very intense scene. I love the mix with like music and how they build kind of atmosphere in that scene.
Yeah, it's lit.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think we covered the effects scenes that we wanted to cover for this episode. If there's something that you would like us to talk about more, please let us know, and we'll take a look at it. Well, anyway, so as we say in Sweden, ha det bra.
Ha det bra. Show.